Michelangelo Merisi da Caravaggio. 1571–1610. His crimes. At 5, the family escaped a plague that ravaged Milan, but Caravaggio's father and grandfather both died there on the same day. Caravaggio's mother had to raise her 5 children in poverty. At 20, he left Milan for Rome in flight after wounding a police officer. He worked for Giuseppe Cesari, Pope Clement VIII's favorite artist, painting flowers and fruit in his factory workshop. Caravaggio was well known for brawling with gangs of young men, committed a murder which forced him to flee from Milan, first to Venice and then to Rome. While living at the Palazzo Madama with his patron Cardinal del Monte, Caravaggio beat nobleman Girolamo Stampa da Montepulciano, a guest of the cardinal, with a club. At 30, he was arrested for the defamation of another painter, Giovanni Baglioni, who sued Caravaggio and his followers for writing offensive poems about him. The French ambassador intervened, and Caravaggio was transferred to house arrest. The next year, Caravaggio was arrested several times for illegal weapons and for insulting the city guards. He was also sued by a tavern waiter for having thrown a plate of artichokes in his face. The next year, Caravaggio was forced to flee to Genoa after seriously injuring Mariano Pasqualone da Accumuli, a notary, in a dispute over Lina, Caravaggio's model and lover. The notary was attacked with a sword, causing a severe head injury. Caravaggio was sued by his landlady Prudenzia Bruni for not having paid his rent. Out of spite, Caravaggio threw rocks through her window at night and was sued again. Then he was hospitalized for an injury which he claimed he had caused himself by falling on his own sword. Caravaggio killed Ranuccio Tomassoni, a gangster from a wealthy family. The two had argued many times, often ending in blows. The duel stemmed from jealousy over Philide Melandroni, a well-known Roman prostitute who had modeled for him. Tomassoni was her pimp. Caravaggio claimed Tomassoni's death was accidental while he was castrating him. Tomassoni's wealthy family demanded justice. Caravaggio was sentenced to beheading for murder, and an open bounty was decreed, enabling anyone who recognized him to carry out the sentence legally. Caravaggio's paintings began, obsessively, to depict severed heads, often his own, at this time. Caravaggio fled first to the estates of the Colonna family south of Rome and then on to Naples, where Costanza Colonna Sforza, widow of Francesco Sforza. In Naples he was outside the jurisdiction of the Roman authorities and protected by the Colonna family. After a few months Caravaggio left for Malta, the headquarters of the Knights of Malta. Fabrizio Sforza Colonna, Costanza's son, was a Knight of Malta and General of the Order's Galleys. He hoped that the patronage of Olof de Wignacourt, Grand Master of the Knights of St. John, could help him secure a pardon. Wignacourt made him the artist of the order and inducted him as a knight. Of course, he was arrested and imprisoned as the result of another brawl, an aristocratic knight. A door of a house was battered down and the knight seriously wounded. Caravaggio was imprisoned by the Knights of Valletta, but escaped. He was expelled from the order as a foul and rotten member, a formal phrase used in all such cases. He was then involved in a violent attempt on his life. Ambushed by men in the pay of the knight he had wounded in Malta. His face was seriously disfigured and rumors circulated in Rome that he was dead. He painted a Salome with the head of John the Baptist showing his own head on a platter, and sent it to Wignacourt as a plea for forgiveness. He also painted a David with the head of Goliath, showing the young David with a strangely sorrowful expression gazing at the severed head of the giant, which is again Caravaggio. He sent it to his patron, the unscrupulous art-loving Cardinal Scipione Borghese, a nephew of the Pope, who had the power to grant or withhold pardons. Caravaggio hoped for a pardon. Caravaggio took a boat northwards to receive his pardon, which seemed imminent thanks to his powerful Roman friends. With him were 3 last paintings, gifts for Cardinal Scipione. What happened next is shrouded in much mystery. Vatican documents released in 2002 support the theory that the wealthy Tomassoni family had him hunted down and killed as a vendetta for Caravaggio's murder of gangster Ranuccio Tomassoni, in a botched attempt at castration after a duel over the affections of model Philide Melandroni.